Welcome to the second round of the best turbo selection series for the Focus ST. So today we're going to be talking about both the BNR turbo options. It's going to be the 2867 and the 3071. So both the 67 and 71 turbos are very comparable to the GTX as far as spool wise and performance. The biggest difference is obviously it's a different turbo company. You got different flanges on each side. The turbo design is different. The CHRA is different. The wastegate is different, internally wastegated. I believe it's an adjustable as far as you can put different preloaded springs in there. I do not have a compressor map to show you guys like the diagram comparison. But here are some specs that I found. Damon Motorsports website. So they're $1,700 for both of them, which I find interesting. The BNR-67, they're calling it, which is a 2867, to Gen 2. They have cast iron adapters, so they use like a bolt-on style. They're not V-band. They have like these adapters for the intake that kind of bolt on. There's a gasket that goes on there. So kind of keep that in mind. The 67 definitely is a more street-friendly turbo, kind of like the GTX Gen 2 2867. It's got a VSR balanced center rotating assembly, which is, the CHRA. It's got a TO4B compressor housing, 2-bolt inlet, which is the intake, and then you got the 60 AR. They're both 60 ARs on the compressor side. The 67 is, I believe, a smaller exhaust turbine housing. It is a 63 right there. The 71 is a 72 on the exhaust housing. So you're going to have more top end flow and more horsepower, but you're going to have like a 500 to 700 spool difference in RPM. This is what I wrote down for a spool. This is just kind of my rough estimate. I don't actually know exactly, so this could be wrong. Comment in the section below if you have a BNR 2867 or 3071 and you can correct me on this, but I'm sure I'm pretty close. And just let me know if you like these turbos, what you think of them, and just comment down below your setup. So 2200 to 3100, so it's going to start spooling around this, and it's going to be around max boost, around 22 psi, around 3100 on the 2867. The 3071 is going to be later, about 500 RPMs later, 2700 starting roughly, could be a little bit sooner maybe, but I highly doubt it. 3800 for the maximum peak boost, so around 20 psi or so. You got your supporting mods, so I put basic bolt-ons. That's going to be your downpipe, like this right here. It's going to be your intake setups or high flow air filter on the airbox with a upgraded intake. So as far as I know, these are just like a bolt-on setup. They use your factory downpipe and all the intake setups, just like the ATP kits. Also, you're going to definitely need an upgraded intercooler. Highly recommend the ESP Elliott Specialized Performance intercooler because it has the most color options. They look really cool. They flow really well, up to 500 plus wheel horsepower, probably 550. And they can definitely support both these turbos, no problem. You don't need nothing any bigger. Trust me, you're just going to hurt yourself in the end, because what's the sense of having a CPE? You're just adding 30 pounds of weight on the front of your car, which you really don't need. Yes, it's front wheel drive, but it's 30 pounds of weight. Just get something that is a little bit more efficient, but not so efficient that you're going to create lag. Here's a little up close. I don't have these pictures printed out, but you can kind of see it comes with the adapters for the manifold. It's a cast iron manifold, cast iron adapters. So there's a heavy duty 27 millimeter internal wastegate swing valve, addressable internal wastegate, yeah, stainless steel mounting bracket, 15 psi crack pressure on the 67. Cast iron turbine inlet adapter, which is the manifold coming off the cylinder head. And that manifold is a better design than the ATP one. So there's that. This could be the same 27 millimeter heavy duty, 15 psi crack pressure. So it seems like the internal wastegate design on both of them are the same as far as crack pressure goes and when they open. So they all come with these, you know, mounting supplies for everything, all your washers, hardware. So let's see here. The horsepower range on the 67 is going to be your peak efficiency is between 350 to 400. You're going to be maxing out on the stock fuel system on 93 at 370. On 91, it's around 350. The max wheel horsepower is going to be 420 with an E85 4-port blend. Now with the BNR-71, it's going to be a little bit higher. Your efficiency range is going to be in between here. 380 to 450 is where I put it. The max is around 480 to 500, depending. Most likely 480 in a stock engine. Past 450 wheel horsepower, you should build your engine. Put some upgraded pistons and rods in there at least. You know, some ARP 2000 head studs. Kind of like a stage 1 build. This would be a perfect turbo for that if you want to max it out. So I found the price range doesn't really vary with this turbo kit for either one of them. It's going to be between $1,600 is the cheapest I found it to $1,700. So I highly recommend getting the 4-port aux fuel kit from Elliott Specialized Performance. They just lowered the price down from $1,050 to $900. And that's an insane steal in my opinion for the quality of the kit. It's a radium based kit. It has all the stuff you need for it. It comes with 65-pound injectors or an option for 90-pound or 1050iX. But the 65-pounders will supply up to 600 wheel horsepower on the 85, no problem. So with my overall analysis, I picked the 2867 as the favorite out of the two, just because the 67 BNR is going to be the best for a daily driver. It's going to have the best response. It's going to have the best power curve in the RPM range from mid-range up to 7,000 RPM. The 71 is going to be your more of a highway turbo or probably more of a track turbo, drag racing turbo with a little bit more of that bigger AR on the exhaust side. So you're going to have a little bit less back pressure, create more horsepower, better for built stage 1 engines. The 2867 is going to maximize your fuel system the best because it has the best spool and response. So that would be the pick I would go with. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. We're going to be moving on to the next turbos are going to be the G series turbos. So it's going to be the G30 series. Make sure you check out these videos and playlists. We'll see you on the next one.